It's time for Baby and Toddler Instructions with host Blythe Lipman. Blythe is a nationally renowned infant and toddler expert who has over 30 years' experience helping moms and dads regain their sanity, teaching them how to survive, and giving them the confidence they need to be the best parents ever. From sleeping to crying to potty training to choosing a preschool and so much more. If you're a parent, Baby and Toddler Instructions is the show you've been looking for. Now here's your host, Blythe Lipman.
Well, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you might be in the world. Thanks so much for tuning in to Baby and Toddler Instructions today. Happy New Year. I hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful holiday celebration. My gosh, it went so fast. But today is January 6th, 2016, my first show in the new year, and I have two great guests today. First one is Connie Gruning from Peanut Butter and Wine, WHINE.com. And my next guest will be Polly Campbell. We're going to talk about how to live an awesome life. But first, you know me, I have to talk a little bit before I welcome Connie. If you're new to the show, this is going to be my 10th year. I've had the wonderful opportunity to host Baby and Toddler Instructions for 10 years and had over 200 greatest guest experts on so many parenting topics. Yay! And I have another great lineup for 2016. So if you ever want to be a guest on my show, you can always contact me via my website, mybestparentingadvice.com, or you can call toginet.com and they will get you to me. I love my guests. You know, if you have something to talk about, if you're a parent, a grandparent, whatever, I would love to have you on the show. Also, if you can't listen live and you're now listening to a podcast, you know, you can always pull up all my podcasts on toginet.com, Stitcher.com, iTunes, and, of course, mybestparentingadvice.com. I have all my wonderful shows from 9+ years ago. So pull them up. Quickly, we had one recall, the Skip Hop Mobile. It says the strap attaching to the product to the crib rail can break, posing an injury hazard if it falls in the crib, obviously on the baby. So anyway, if you have the Skip Hop Mobile, call the company. I will put that on my website under my recalls after the show. Also, I did want to talk about one other thing quickly before I welcome Connie. You know, the holidays just passed, and everybody got lots of great presents, I'm guessing. You have to be so careful if anything has the button batteries, those little tiny circle batteries. Unfortunately, you know, many children have swallowed them, and it's terrible. It's a battery, and they burn the esophagus, they burn the insides, and children have actually died. And, I heard a story the other day on the radio about a child that's had something like 70 operations and is just starting to talk because he swallowed a button battery many years ago. You know, they come in keyless entries, toys, remote control, wireless games, digital scales, thermometers, watches, those musical greeting cards that your kids love to look at. That has a button battery in it. So please, please watch your kids and make sure those button batteries don't fall out and they don't get in those little hands. So anyway, I did want to mention that because, you know, so many of the presents you might have gotten have those batteries. So that was the only recall. And let me welcome my first guest to the show. She is on once a month, the first Wednesday of every month. Her name is Connie Gruning from Peanut Butter and Wine, and she's going to tell us what's hot and what's not in January. And I can't wait to hear because I'm ready more gifts. And I know I went on there yesterday, and I'm trying to win a PayPal gift card. So, Connie, good morning. Happy New Year. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Happy New Year. I can't believe it's 2016. Where is time going? Oh, my God.
I know.
Okay, one of the coolest things that is so awesome for 2016 is the Kia Optima LX Turbo. Oh, my goodness. This is a luxury sedan. I have to tell you, this is the coolest car. I got to drive it for a full week, and it
Only a week? They didn't give you one to try for the year?
I know. Do you know, I whine at the end of every single one of these reviews, and yet they do not give me these cars. I don't know why.
I don't either.
This thing has more airbags in it. I think it's even got a new place where they put them, and that's where your kneecaps are. So an airbag will come down and protect your knee area as
wow.
well. I know, side curtains, the front mounted, dual front airbags. That car it blows up like a big bubble. I mean, these are really good cars. I don't think we give Kia the recognition that it really needs to have.
No, they have some good cars. I have a question. Does it have a seat warmer and a seat fan in the summer? That always cracks me up.
You know what? This car did not. So I was kind of, especially because California, we all of a sudden got some rain, and it was kind of cold here. I didn't have a warm seat. So that it did not have, which is the first time I've had a Kia without one. So I'm not certain if I just didn't have the upgrade that has one, but I'm certain that they do. The one thing that was really amazing is I got little over 30 miles per gallon of gas with this thing.
Wow. That alone will get me to buy that.
I cannot believe, and there's not a plug-in, it's all strictly gas. I could not believe, I drove a lot because it was Christmas week. There was dinners, there was parties, there was places to go and shopping to do. I drove so much, I would have had to fill my car up twice, and I drive a Honda CR-V. This car still had a half a tank when I gave it back.
Card? Did you get a gas card?
No, but I didn't even make it to a half a tank. And I drove a lot.
Amazing.
So I'm very impressed with the Kia. The Kia is a cool-looking car. The other thing that is I have a cool product to share, and it's on my site, when you scroll down, just before my peanut butter and wine giveaways is a what you looking for. And if you search in there, it's the third widget down, and type in gold wheat mini portable blue. All you would have to do is type in gold wheat, and this light bulb will come up. And I'll tell you what, this was the hit of Christmas. The grandkids, they knew about it. The adults didn't, so they came in and, Nana, make the light bulb sing. Make the light bulb sing. It connects to either your phone or your iPad or whatever, you want to connect it to. It's Bluetooth. The speaker is in the light bulb. And it has really good sound. It is so, I can't get over how cool this is. In the light also, you can set it to do color change, and it will go to the beat of the music, or you can set it to a tempo that you want. You can have it it'll go bright white or a nice soft dim, whatever you want it to do. Coolest light bulb ever.
So you're dancing to your light bulb. That's so cool.
It was so funny. The kids started dancing, so the adults got up and started dancing. It was one of the best.
What's it called
Christmas.
again? I'm having an issue here with my computer this morning. Okay. What's it called again?
Gold wheat.
Gold wheat. Okay, I will have to look.
All one word. And
okay.
It is truly. And as far as giveaways go, we don't have a whole lot for this month. Working on some for February. Hopefully we're going to have some more family games coming up. But right now I have the $50 Your Way, so you can choose how you want your $50 gift card. I also have a Schwartz Bio Research. They're giving away $50 worth of product to their, and these all in fairly quickly. The $100 gift card for Amazon, and also a $40 in PayPal gift card. So
yes, I was already in there trying to get all of those and more. Somehow, it's like isn't it like the Kia car? I keep going in and you're on the show, and I'm going, wait a minute, it's my turn to win. Like you're saying, wait, I'm not going to keep this.
Come on, just give me the car. Just let me have the car.
Give me the car and the lamp and everything. This is great. For my listeners, if you haven't gone to Connie's site, Peanut Butter and Wine, WHINE, you have to take a look at this. This is just such a great site. Oh, this is cool. Here's the key. Okay, now my computer's cooperating. You have such neat things on here. The top bulb, here it is. Is this it? No, this is not it. What's this red bulb? Is this like you put this outside your door? I don't think so.
No. Did you do gold wheat, one word?
I'm just kidding. Yeah, here it is.
Okay.
I just found it. It's very cool. But anyway, if you haven't gone to Peanut Butter and Wine, WHINE, Connie's so great, and you'll see her grandchildren. And I love your new hair. And it's funny because you have new hair all the time, and I think it's great. You know what? You make me want to do something, make a different color to my hair, and surprise all my listeners and my followers. And go, wait.
Wasn't she blonde yesterday?
Yeah, I know. I looked at her. Wait, am I on the right site? Connie is now a beautiful redhead. She was a beautiful blonde. Have you ever done the blue or the pink?
We did a green once. For St. Patrick's Day. That had to leave quickly.
That's pretty funny because, I was watching Kelly and Michael on TV once, and she had blue hair. I don't know what she was doing because I don't have time to watch TV in the morning. And I kept looking at this blue hair going, she does not look good. Why did the producers let her make blue hair? We're jealous enough. She's so skinny. Now she has blue hair, and she's ruining it.
And nice, too. She's
she's really nice. You know what? They're so funny. I'm happy when I can turn it on for a few minutes because, you know what, we all laugh. So you had a great holiday?
I did. I got to go to Legoland and see Jenna Elfman light up the Christmas tree for Legoland.
Wow, what fun.
She's the actress from Dharma and Greg, the blonde. Yes.
Right.
I got invited. Oh, she is, and she brought her two sons with her, and they helped light the tree. So that's in here in the blog too. Just type in Legoland. We had just a great December. We did, trips to the zoo and looked at the new lights, and trips to the wild animal park and Legoland, and Alice got to go and do her Disneyland trip. So it was a great Christmas.
Fun. Well, before we know, I'm going to be talking to you about Valentine's Day. Because before we know, I looked in the stores. They took down the Christmas cards, and the rest of the stores have all the Valentine's stuff up. So on that note, I can't wait to talk to you in February. Thanks so much for starting our new year, 2016, and I will talk to you next month.
Yay! Thank you. Happy New Year.
Take care. Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We'll be right back with more Help My Baby Came Without Instructions. It's Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet. We'll be right back right after these. If you could live your life truly standing in a place of peace, joy, and abundance, wouldn't that make your heart soar? Now you can, with Lessons in Joyful Living, with your host, Kimberly Rinaldi, Mondays at noon Central. Kimberly Rinaldi, having created a highly successful coaching practice, now teaches lessons in joyful living. She believes in empowering others and that through it, you have the ability to break through any and all barriers, thus allowing you to reach your greatest potential and joyfully step into your life's purpose. What used to take weeks, months, or even years, she can now teach you in a matter of hours with her programs. For more on Kim and her show, go to her website, KimberlyRinaldi.com. That's RINALDI.com. Then join us for Lessons in Joyful Living with your host, Kimberly Rinaldi.
It's words you never heard.
You may have heard that a great big giant pumpkin has brought a ton of excitement to the Wisconsin Cedarburg Wine and Harvest Festival. This humongous pumpkin weighed in at over 2,000 pounds. That's over a ton. This Astrobogulus pumpkin is now the largest on record in North America. Astrobogulus is a word for the bizarre and interesting. Gene McMullen grew the colossal fruit in Streator, Illinois. Some of the big fall festivals will pay the winner of the biggest pumpkin contest up to $25,000. That's a lot of money for a fruit that's 90% water. Believe it or not, there's a word for the fear of turning into a pumpkin. It's called apocolosymposis.
It's words you never heard.
I'm Carolyn Davidson, and you can have fun challenging your words you never heard vocabulary with my new app, Too Funny for Words.
Welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet, the hour for all moms with little ones to come for great advice, encouragement, and great ideas for all new parents. Now, back to the show with Blythe Lipman.
Well, welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions. I am so excited to have my first show of 2016. Yay! Anyway, if you are listening live today, it's January 6th, and if you have a question, a comment, or you just want to say good morning, you can call us at 877-864-4869. I want to tell you about my second guest. Polly Campbell has written this terrific book. I had her on before when she wrote her other book, but this is the newest book called How to Live an Awesome Life, How to Live Well, Do Good, Be Happy. And what a great book. She is a blogger at Psychology Today, Psych Central, the Huffington Post, the Creativity Post, and a lot of other sites. Her magazine articles are on personal development topics and spiritual practices regularly in a lot of national publications. Polly has integrated the things she writes and talks about in her own life through practical experience. She lives with her husband and daughter in Beaverton, Oregon. And I have to tell you, I love Polly's words of wisdom. They're terrific, and especially after the holidays. You know, we all make these New Year's resolutions, and I try to say their goals. And, of course, maybe by Friday we break them. And it's interesting because I was watching the Sunday morning show with Charles Osgood last week, and he had somebody on doing a little thing about New Year's resolutions, and what this man did was incredible. I can't remember who the man was. He talked about the fact with resolutions of what he wasn't going to do. I will never jog. It hurts your knees. I'm too old. I will never eat chocolate. I will never give up chocolate because I like it. And I like turning it around because we already didn't fail. We knew we weren't going to do it. So you know what? I can't wait to talk to Polly Campbell about living an awesome life. And I just want to say, to start this off, I love this quote, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. And boy, does that go into living an awesome life and doing what works for us. So on that note, it's time to talk to Polly Campbell. Welcome to the show. Happy New Year, Polly.
Good morning. Happy New Year.
Oh, thank you. I just love your book and have now ruined it because I have like 60 pages turned down.
Books should be used, so that makes me happy.
That's right. This is a great book. So let me ask you, I know you're on the show with the other book. What's the title?
The other book is Imperfect Spirituality, Extraordinary Enlightenment for Ordinary People.
That was a great book. You know what?
Thank you.
It's great, and I have my bookshelf with all my books, and it's so great to meet and have you on my show because sometimes I'll pull your book out, or like I've had Alan Klein on a number of times, a Jollytologist, and I just pull a book out and open a page and go, okay, this works for today. So
great. I love that you use it that way because I think you can read it through or you can just pull it up when you need a dose, you know?
I agree. And you know what? There's this one, honestly, I wish I could take a screenshot of all these pages turned down. So how did you come up with this? I love the title. And how can we help parents live an awesome life when they're back to work, their kids are getting back to being in preschool? You know, it's like they were never there when they start, speaking from experience. You know, their older children have tons of homework again, and mom and dad are trying to go to work and run their house, and, help.
It is crazy. It is a crazy time, and I like what you said about resolutions because, you know, we're in the business of, we got to change this and we got to fix this. And I really think our goal, per se, should be to be all that we are. Just show up. It is enough. We have all we need to do this job and to do this stuff. And is really a way for me to get into it, to be in the moment, especially as a parent and, you know, a working mom and a person with tons of family stuff going on and all the things. I live a big life, and we all do. And was, for me, when I stumbled across the research, it was a real practical way for me to say, okay, this is something I can do right now that will change the energy in this moment and help me become aware of what I'm doing and where I'm at. And when you do that, not only do you feel better, but you slow down a little bit, and certain things become less important. Certain things become more clear, and it allows you really uplift your experience in the moment. So you don't need to freak out. And raising a kid, this is something I had to learn right away. Was okay. Things are going to change, but that doesn't mean they're bad or good. It just means they're changing. And if I can be in this place and recognize the goodness that presents, even in those difficult moments, I'm going to feel better. And when we feel better, we do better.
I so agree, and it's interesting because I've been looking at your book, for the past couple of weeks, and I was sitting here this morning thinking, what's awe, and how do I explain it for me? And by the way, I just want to say this. The other day, my new grandson, which I talk about all the time, I'm so in love with him. He's going to be 8 months old. I can't believe it. It's so quick. And the other day, he figured out how to crawl. And if that wasn't a moment of awe, I don't know what is. I took a video. He could push himself backwards like most of the babies do, but all of a sudden he figured out how to crawl frontwards. And I thought, boy, that is definitely, I was in awe going, yes, yeah, let's go. So for any of my listeners today, if you want to call and tell us what was your moment that you realized that it was a moment of awe, and how awesome you are, call us, 877-864-4869. What's awe? What's awe for you? It's different for everybody.
It is different for everybody, and I think the thing to remember about this is it's everywhere. So, the other day, I'm not a big sugar household. We don't have many sugar treats in this house, but I made a batch of chocolate chip cookies the other day, and I put one on the counter on a plate so that when my daughter came home from school, she would have one. And she came in and had a terrible day at school, and so-and-so was mean to her, and she got told to stop talking, and she didn't have PE, and all these things were falling apart. She walked in the house huffing and puffing and walked right by this plate of cookies. She didn't even smell it, and the cooking, the smell in the house. She didn't notice it. She missed the sweetness, right? And so I think awe is all around us. I think our challenge is noticing what's right in front of us. And researchers, the bigwig psychologists say that awe requires two things. It needs to be vast, and it requires accommodation. And what that means is it's so big we don't fully understand it, or there's no full explanation for it in our mind. And accommodation requires us to change the way we look at the world to experience the awe. So the most obvious example is looking up at the universe or the stars at night and standing there and realizing how small we are and how amazing it is to be a part of. That invokes awe, right? And awe can be a hurricane. Awe can be a cookie on a plate as well. It's a matter of taking things in and realizing that things are working for us, that there's an energy here and things happening in our lives, a spider's web, a snow crystal falling from the sky, and noticing those moments and allowing ourselves to be changed by it. And when we do, amazing things happen. Like when you experience awe, one of the things that does is our biochemicals change in our bodies and make us want to reach out and connect with other people. We want to include them in this experience and say, oh, look at that falling star, or, look at the mountain, or come on, eat this great piece of pizza with me. We want to share that with them. And it also changes our chemistry, so it eases our stress. We get less of those stressful hormones going through our body. So we respond better. We have greater clarity and less stress. And one other thing, which I love as a mother, is it makes us feel what researcher Melanie Rudd calls time rich. And what time richness is our perception of time changes when we experience awe. We slow down and we take it in and we realize what's more important in life. And so we go toward that thing. And that response causes people to volunteer more, to spend greater time with their family, to be more generous in their lives. So it simply changes how we view the moment. All of a sudden, that thing you just had to get done isn't as important as watching your grandson crawl across the room.
No, and it's still there. It's interesting. My producer, Lisa, I'm going to share this. Lisa said that sometimes her husband takes her outside to see the stars and how they just calm down. And,
yes.
It just reminds me when I love the water, and when I see the ocean, I'll stand there and go, For me, it's the waves. And, for people, it's the stars or the mountains or whatever, but it doesn't mean, looking at this book, it doesn't mean that you walk around like a bumbling person going, isn't this great? Isn't this great? There's a difference, isn't there?
There is a difference, and yet we can see it that way. What the difference is, like you said, we're not going to go from angry and upset to blissful in a split second. But what awe does is it heightens our awareness. So even when we're angry and upset or scared or stressed, when we bring awe into our life and see that moment, then we have a great ability to see the goodness within the difficulty, and it raises it up. Especially when you're raising kids. Everybody, when my daughter's 9 now, and when she was young, really young, people say, just pay attention, this time goes so fast. And I'm thinking, it cannot go fast enough. I haven't slept in 6 months, I'm exhausted, and she cries, and this happens, and it's messy, and everybody's like, just don't worry about it. It goes so fast. Well, it doesn't feel fast sometimes when you're in the moment. But when you can get in that moment where it's difficult and also say, right, but thank goodness she's developmentally healthy. Thank goodness I'm able to be a mom even though I'm older. Thank goodness I have, a shelter for us. You can really get in the moment and start saying, okay, this is difficult, and in the very same moment there can be these awesome things, like she can open her eyes and look at me and smile. And the other night I was putting her to bed. Like I said, she's 9, so she's older now, and I was putting her to bed, and she just reached out and put her hand along my cheek. And that was an awesome moment for me. And it's about noticing those moments and staying in them for a minute so you can carry it with you, like filling up a bank account of emotionally positive energy.
You know what? I love this. You're right on the money, and especially for moms. I mean, and dads too, but I see these new moms because I'm in a preschool, and they're always in such a hurry, and they're, a lot of times they can't wait. And I'll say, just sit down for a second and look what your baby's doing, and watch this. And I like to see moms go to work calm and not in such a rush that they're going to be late because they're out in the traffic. And you know what? They have 10 million things to do, like we all do. Anyway, we are going to have a break in just a few seconds, and I am going to sit here and enjoy my coffee and all, because I love my cup of coffee in the morning.
I do
so
too.
Good. So we will be right back. Stay with us.
Ooh, baby love, my baby love, I need you, I need you.
We'll be right back with more help. For help, my baby came without instructions. It's Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet. We'll be right back right after these.
Baby love, my baby love, I need you, I need you.
This is God in Country, the collision of faith and politics, hosted by nationally known speaker, Reverend Dr. Sean Michael Greener. Not your typical Rev. Dr. Sean is a proud military veteran, former law enforcement officer, and founder of the internationally regarded Executive Protection Team. Dr. Sean holds a bachelor's degree in biblical counseling and master's and doctorate degrees in theology, and is currently pursuing a doctorate in ministry with a Hebrew worldview focus. Through his counseling, elite life coaching, and national speaking, this ninja pastor tells it like it is. This series is biblically and politically engaged with the pedal to the metal. Join host and author of the acclaimed yet controversial book, Excellence Killed the Church, How Mediocrity is Destroying America, Dr. Sean Michael Greener, every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on this radio network.
I don't know about you, but I love peanut butter. Peanut butter was the pâté of my childhood. Whenever I was grub-struck and needed to eat on the scattery or in a hurry, there was nothing better than a peanut butter sandwich. Grub-struck is another word for exhausted from hunger. November is National Peanut Butter Month, And it's no wonder we celebrate as Americans consume enough peanut butter in a year to create over 10 billion peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Any product labeled peanut butter in the U.S. must contain no less than 90% peanuts. And it takes about 550 peanuts to make one 12-ounce jar of peanut butter. What's a word for the fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth? Arachibutyophobia.
It's words you never heard.
I'm Carolyn Davidson, and you can have fun challenging your words you never heard vocabulary with my new app, Too Funny for Words.
Welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet, the hour for all moms with little ones to come for great advice, encouragement, and great ideas for all new parents. Now, back to the show with Blythe Lipman.
Well, welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions. I am here with my wonderful, awesome guest, Polly Campbell. Her book that she's just written is called How to Live an Awesome Life, and we are talking all about how to basically stop and smell the roses. And when you're in that moment, try to be in the moment. I know we say that all the time. We say be fully present, be in the moment, and, life does get in the way, but what I found, I'll tell you, Polly, see what you think of this. I think this is such a good analogy. You're driving the car and somebody is in such a hurry and they cut you off and they pass you and they do all these unsafe things and you end up next to them at the light. And sometimes I laugh because I want to open the window and go, see, you didn't get there any faster. You should have just driven safely and you're still going to get there and who cares?
Yeah, I think we have moments all the time, and where we are prone to that. I've had that I'm laughing because I had that very thing happen to me. He was all steamed up behind me, and he came racing around me, and then we ended up at the same light together. And I did just wave at him. I wasn't mad. I'm just like, we miss so much in our life because we're hustling, and yet we're all going the same place when you really think about it. So at this stage, a lot of times the hustle makes me more stressed, or it causes me to create mistakes that cause more time in the long run, or burn me out so that I don't want to do what I'm doing. And over the holidays, I was thinking of this. I was in such a hustle. My daughter was home from school, and I'm thinking, am I missing this moment? So I changed it. We had 3 days where there was nothing scheduled at all. We went from having all these fun things scheduled to just saying, let's see what we feel like when we wake up in the morning. And that is not necessarily comfortable for me. I'm a very type A planner, predictable kind of person. But it felt so refreshing to be able to wake up in the morning and create the moments ahead of us, no matter whatever they were going to look like, that it reminded me the importance of really slowing down and stepping into my awareness. And my life is pretty fast, so slowing down doesn't mean I'm stagnant staring out the window or finding awe everywhere, like you said. But it's about taking in what is there and seeing it and giving attention to it. It's about saying thank you to the clerk in the grocery store, right? How many times do they say, have a nice day, and we say thank you, and we don't even look at them. So stop what you're doing and stop everything and look at them in the eye and say thank you and let it rest a beat. And those moments generate more awe, and they create more uplifting energy. So these little moments are transformed and lead into the next moment, which makes it all a little easier to handle.
Well, what do you think about this? When somebody says to you, how are you? Do you think they really want to know how you are? I always wonder about this when it comes to being in the moment.
I don't think most people want to know.
No, I don't either, but people say, how are you? And of course they don't want to hear I was sick and, what,
right.
I couldn't. They don't want to hear bad things, or maybe they do.
Well, and I think it depends on the person. I think it depends on who you are. I think it's always most important for you to be authentic, no matter what the other person is thinking or wanting on the other end. Be yourself. But I always I do my best in any of those connections to be sincere. So to be grounded in the moment. So no matter what my answer is going to be, I want to make a connection with them. I want to be with them. I want to look at them in the eye or shake their hand or say thank you for asking. that's an answer too. No matter whether you're having a rotten day or not, stop a beat and make a connection with those people and see if that moment doesn't change a little bit so that you can be authentic. But no, certain people I'd be like, I am terrible. You would not believe what happened. And other people I'd be like, thanks for asking. I'm doing okay today, or whatever the response is appropriate. But each of those moments allow us a chance to connect.
That's right, and the connection is so important. And what I found, too, is when you ask the person, when you're sharing, it has to be give and take, and you have to say, how are you? And how are you doing? I watch, I'm going to go back to this because it's a parenting show. I run an infant room, and I also watch the parents interact, and it's very interesting because, we have a couple babies that are the same age, and the two moms compare what their kids are doing. And they're doing very different things, but when I watch them communicate and I watch them smile, and you see one mom shaking her head and going, yeah, but you know what, he did that and she did that, and it's so great because that kind of sharing and communicating, really helps. We want to know that we're a good mom. My moms want to know they're good moms and good dads, and I love when the dads bring them in because it's so funny. I'll even have dads say, doesn't this baby ever go to sleep? Wait till they get their license and you still won't be sleeping.
Never sleeping again is kind of how I feel about it. But even in those moments with your kid, we had a situation a couple days ago that I was not happy with some of the choices that were made by my daughter, and we needed to talk things over. And even in that moment, I felt like there was a chance to expand that moment into something else. It was a chance to connect and see how she's thinking, what led to this, and what was her feeling about it, and what was her responsibility, and what was my job in that role as a parent. So although my initial reaction was to be angry and uncomfortable and all those things, I didn't want to go into the moment with that. I wanted to go into something more expansive so I could pay attention, because when we are stressed, our body is just telling us to get out of there, either fight that or get away. We are not paying attention. We are not tweaking the moment or growing from it. I want those moments to be expansive. They're uncomfortable for sure, but I want to gain something for them. And when you do that, there's a place for awesome in your life. There's a place for growth and expansion, not just for your child, or your baby, or your toddler, but everybody in the family, because you learn something too about yourself. As parents, we can become so reactive, and all it requires us really to stop and savor the moment and experience that moment. And when we do that, we have a clarity that makes us better parents. We're able to respond in a way that is not so emotional and not so reactive, so that we can really expand the moment into something better.
No, it's true. And don't you think, we use the 1, 2, 3 rule. I'm going to count to 3. If you don't do that by the time I get to 3, you're going to go in timeout, whatever you're going to do. But I think I love the 1, 2, 3 rule for myself. I count the 1, 2, 3 in my head before I react to something. And I always try, this is one thing I did with my kids all through school. Whenever something came up, with them, if it was something that somebody did to one of my kids or whatever it was, I always tried to say, well, tell me what the other person did. Tell me what happened. And I never used to say, okay, we're going to go in there and we're really mad at this person.
Right.
There's always two sides to every argument, and it's so interesting because what I see, too, I know we're talking about being awesome, and being an awesome parent is to stop what you said and listen and be there, because there's always two sides. And I'm not saying your child was right or wrong or another child was right or wrong. Like, for instance, when the babies get to be around 1, some babies, let's go a little older baby, 1, 1.5, sometimes they bite.
Yeah.
And, in a preschool setting, we are not allowed to say who bit who, because parents get mad, and a lot of times babies bite for a lot of reasons. They don't even know why they bite. They're teething, they're frustrated, they can't use their words if they're a toddler. And it's really interesting because, I'll see a parent get very upset, and, I try to spend a lot of time talking to them and explaining about biting and all of that. But, again, I think sitting there and listening and being awesome makes you awesome when you stop for a minute and take a breath.
Well, I agree, and I think we become in our culture really concerned with who's wrong, what's right, what's wrong, who's fat, who's thin, who's young, who's old. And what if we just were being? Most of these situations that I encounter with my daughter and in my own life are not right or wrong. They're just experiences. And from the very time my daughter started crawling, our approach was, I don't want to step in too early because I want her to learn what she's capable of. And sometimes that means she has to learn how to deal with uncomfortable situations. She has to learn how to soothe herself sometimes, and she has to learn how to take responsibilities now as an older child for her actions. But I think of that for me too. If I'm reactive and jumping in all the time on everything in my life, I'm not giving any space to see what's really developing. And there have been painful, uncomfortable situations that I wanted to fix. And now in retrospect, when I stood back and let them be, they turned out to be incredible gifts in my life. And we've all had these moments. So when you're raising your child, to be an awesome parent, you must be an awesome person. And sometimes that means having the confidence to stand back and say, wow, maybe this is happening just as it's supposed to. And my job here is to learn and listen and stand in alignment and just to be here, to show up. I think being awesome is about engaging in this life, is about showing up and becoming present to whatever is and knowing that you're strong enough to do that.
That's so true. And I'm looking at your book on page 123. Ellen DeGeneres, who we all love, she's so great, says it's failure that gives you the proper perspective on success. And it's interesting because I was thinking about this when I was looking at it this morning, and we have just a few minutes before commercial, but what I want to say is I want to talk to you about what is failure. I mean, I hate that word failure because we learn from what we do, and failure puts such a negative spin on things. You can say I should have done this, but, you're talking about your daughter learning, but it goes for us and women. We're the worst. We are so guilty about so many things, and we think we should have done it different, and we failed at this, and I wish the G word, the guilt word, and the F word, failure, that's the right F word. I'm talking about everybody. Failure, that word, those words should be taken out of our vocabulary because, it's such an adventure in life, and this is how we do learn, and I don't necessarily think we're failing. I think we could have done things a different way. So when we come back from the commercial break, I want to talk to you a little bit about that, and I also want to ask you what your favorite parenting tip is, because I ask all my guests, and there might be a book in the works with favorite parenting tips, because there's nothing like hearing what other parents do and say. And again, here we are, we're back to learning. And somebody will say, how did you do that? And I'll say, I did it this way. And I go, wow. Many times I've said to somebody, I never thought of that. I'm going to try that this time. So that makes us awesome, and you are awesome. And when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about your favorite parenting tip and a little bit about that bad F word, failure. So we will be right back. Stay with us.
We'll be right back with more Help My Baby Came Without Instructions. It's Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet. We'll be right back right after these. Information about book publishing is power. The power to change your authoring life and the power to change the lives of your readers. So join us for Your Guide to Book Publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. You'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now. As the book shepherd, Dr. Judith Briles is in. And each week, she will include publishing professionals that will reveal tips and secrets to the author's journey. If there is a book in you want to listen, learn, and yes, call in with your questions each week. For more on Judith and what she can do for you, check out her website, thebookshepherd.com. It's Your Guide to Book Publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. Brought to you by Author You and The Book Shepherd with your host, Dr. Judith Briles. Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific.
It's the Fitness Minute with fitness expert Annette Hammond.
When your focus is to lose weight or maintain your present weight, exercising effectively to burn the most calories is crucial. You want to give yourself every advantage to burn as many calories as possible. One good tip is to do your strength training exercises standing up so you can keep your heart rate up. Another tip is to perform multi-joint exercises when you can. For example, as you're doing a forward lunge, add bicep curls while you're coming up from the lunge. Another example is to execute a wide squat, and as you're coming up from the squat, perform a shoulder press. By doing these multi-joint exercises, you're putting more demands on your body, keeping your heart rate up, and working more muscles at the same time. The goal is to burn the most calories during that workout. I'm Annette Hammond. To hear other fitness and weight loss tips, visit our website at AnnetteHammond.com.
Welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet, the hour for all moms with little ones to come for great advice, encouragement, and great ideas for all new parents. Now, back to the show with Blythe Lipman.
Well, what a great first show of 2016. I am here with my second guest today. Polly Campbell wrote this terrific book called How to Live an Awesome Life, How to Live Well and Do Good and Be Happy, and she is awesome. And before the break, I said I was going to ask Polly what her favorite parenting tip was.
Yeah, I got a couple things. One that was a biggie for me is we always did and do quiet time. So when she was a baby and a toddler, that would look like nap time often. But even as she got older, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, we always had a time in the afternoon where she needed to be by herself in a comfortable space that she liked, napping or sleeping or playing. There was always a time of day when we weren't interacting with her. She wasn't watching TV. She wasn't doing. She would just she picked what she was going to do, and she spent a half hour or sometimes an hour doing that thing or laying in her bed. Or I wanted her to learn how to be quiet with herself and how to be comfortable in that quiet and find a refuge to go to when life gets busy. And so we started that real early. And that's been fantastic for our family. The other thing that we did from the time she could say her first word, mom, or whatever it was we went around the table and did goodnesses. So during dinner or a meal, everybody takes a turn and says what they're grateful for or what was good in their life. And when she was a baby and a toddler, we would give her a turn and we would help her fill in the blank. What made you happy today? And she'd say, Mama, or something in her language. We'd say, oh, Ma, and we would articulate the sentence for her because we really felt strongly that we wanted her to notice the good things that were in the world because it is so easy to notice what is bad and what hurts and what isn't working, that we wanted to make sure also that she could learn the good thing. And that helped us too. Both of those things helped evolve our relationship and my independence, my individuality as a mother and a wife and a woman. And so they're things we still do today.
I love them. I love the quiet time. You know what? I love every day, as an adult, even as an adult at the end of the day, if you have a gratitude journal or even you say to yourself, what am I grateful for today? What a wonderful way to bring up a child. And the quiet time, it's interesting. I love that. And, I may use it via you when I do my newsletter because many times I will see parents, they think they have to do something with their babies on the floor or whatever, however old they are all the time. And it's so important to teach them to play by themselves so they can be creative. And, I know that's not quiet time, but with a baby to start off that way, you don't have to be with them 24/7. So I love it. Thank you. Also, I don't want to go to a negative subject, but it's a failure. We talk about Ellen said failure. You learn from failure, and it's true, but I don't like the failure word. Yeah. We learn when we do something and go, I should have done it a different way, but I don't think that's failure, do you?
No, I think failure is defined personally, and so I don't have failures in my life. I have things that I don't like. I have outcomes that I achieve that are my favorite thing in the world, but then that's an opportunity to create something different. And so I agree with you. I think failure, the word, is really defined when we don't get the outcome we think we want or need. But if you're open to any outcome, if you are more committed to the process and the experience, I know people that want the kid to be a basketball player or a doctor, and the kid is 5 years old. What if you were just invested in the process of parenting and just loving those moments or being aware of those moments? I suspect that you would enjoy the 40 years or 60 years or whatever years of parenting that you do more than the profession they pick when they're 25, and it's like that writing a book. It's like that being in a marriage. It's like that running a business. Invest in the process. Be open to any outcome. And, of course, there's going to be some disappointments because that's a sign that, oh, right, I'm not totally on track with this, so I get to regroup. And so I'm with you.
Isn't it? It's the uncertainty. We can't be certain about what's going to happen with everything.
Right.
If we can just be there, like on page 2, it's on page 208, and everybody, you have to get this book. This book is so great, and it's paperback. You can throw it in your purse waiting for a doctor's appointment or dentist or something. You can just open a page. Like on this page 208, it says savor often and listing your likes. Sometimes writing things down makes you see them better, at least for me.
Absolutely.
Because I like
we
crossing
remember
things
them, too.
off. I like making a list and crossing it off. To me, just the idea of crossing something off my list makes me feel wow, you've gotten this done, which is really, really good. Tell my listeners where they can find, all your books.
Yeah, come find me. I'm at www.imperfectspirituality.com. That's my website, and you can link to the books and lots of free articles there. You can find me on Facebook under Polly Campbell or Imperfect Spirituality, and buy the books at Amazon or Barnes & Noble, your neighborhood bookshop. They're all out everywhere. And right now I'm going to be speaking at Powell's Books in Portland in a couple of weeks. So come on out to that. But if you want a signed book, you can order a book from them now. I will sign the book, and they'll mail it off to you.
Well, that's great. Also, are you going to put your books on Audible?
Yeah, I think that's in the works, and the first book is on Audible, I think, Imperfect Spirituality, and this book was just released a couple months ago, so I think that's the route we're going, but I don't know when that's happening.
It's great, too. It's funny, though. I can tell you as an author, when you hear somebody else reading your work, you go, wait a minute, I didn't say it like that. Or, that was really good. I didn't think I said it with that part. So I love Audible.
It's so dramatic. Yeah, it's nice.
Audible, I have to say a little plug. If you go to audible.com/parents, you can get a free book, and I will get credit. And Audible will get credit, and I'll be happy because maybe they'll sponsor another show. I love Audible. My books are on Audible, and, I know yours will be too. It's really fun. So let's see. What else do I want to ask you? You have so many stories. How do you deal with when you have chronic illness or parenting adventures or things that come up that you think you just can't deal with?
Well, sometimes I just whine about it for a while. I do live with chronic illness. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and sometimes I just need to complain for a few minutes, but I give myself a time limit, and I go 5 minutes or 10 minutes because I get really bored with myself. I write in the book, I want to be a creator, not a complainer. And when we begin complaining, not only are we identifying what's not working, but we're ruminating, and that means we get stuck in that thought pattern. I don't have time. That doesn't feel comfortable to me. So I'll whine for a few minutes, and then I'll call a friend or somebody to get me out of that, or I'll get it out of myself because I get so frustrated with that. And then I look at what I can create from that situation. Creation is so expansive. When something really goes haywire in my life, one of the first thoughts I have is, okay, this is material for a book. Or let's see if these principles I write about really stand up to this situation, because I do everything I write about. I practice it, I test it, I do the research. I don't put anything that I haven't tried. And so if I'm really pressed, then I'll go back to my own books and I'll say, okay, I'm in this mode. What can I do to uplift the situation, and how is that going to work for me? And I also do gratitude practice. I want to change the moment because, like I said, there can be great moments in the middle of difficult ones. And I don't want to lose sight that we are complex beings living this expansive, awesome life. And we can hold all of that at the same time. You can feel intense grief while you're feeling great love. You can feel sadness and joy. We are all of that. And when I start to think of that, then that moves me back in the awesome mode, like, wow, look at us. look at how amazing and marvelous this experience is. And it's hard to be stuck in upset too long when I realize that. Doesn't mean I'm comfortable. Like I said, I don't go from down to bliss in a moment, but it allows me to get some movement in a positive direction and some clarity about what I need to do next to deal with the situation and less stewing about it, actually.
You know what? And it's so great to be able to do that, because when something is sad, if you think of something happy, really quickly, I have to let you go in just a few seconds, but I just want to say I am so on the same page with you. Unfortunately, my daughter had to put her dog down. He was very ill, and, you know, we're all still grieving, but then we're all laughing because this dog was hysterical. He did terrible things like jump on the refrigerator and count funny stories. So it's awesome that we can laugh through our tears. And, you know, he had a nice long life, but it's still, you're sad. There's that missing piece in your heart, but then there's that laughter about how funny he was. But anyway, on that note, you are awesome. I would love to have you on the show again. Start writing another book, and have a great 2016. Thanks a lot,
Thank you.
Holly.
Anytime. I love the show, and I love you, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Take care. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, I don't know about you, but I feel more awesome already. Next week, my guest will be from a company called MamaBoxes.com. It is the coolest thing. It's a company that sends pregnant women boxes filled with pregnancy-safe goodies each trimester. What could be better, especially if you're nauseous and tired and everything? Anyway, I love this company, and the owner is a mom, so we're going to talk about being a mom and pregnancy and all kinds of great things. Anyway, if you ever need a little parenting help with your babies or toddlers, you can always call my office and schedule a telephone, video chat, or an in-home appointment. I will come if you live in Arizona, unless you want to pay for a plane ticket. I've been in the parenting business for over 40 years, and I love what I do, as you can probably tell. And my experience can really make your life a little easier. If you have just some issues, anything, baby or toddler not sleeping, biting, eating, nothing medical. So my office number is 480-510-1453. Also, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and my books, Help My Baby Came Without Instructions, More Help My Baby Came Without Instructions, and Help My Toddler Came Without Instructions, is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and also on Audible, and, of course, my website, mybestparentingadvice.com. And, you know, check out my website. Lots of great things there. So today I would like to leave you with some words of wisdom about life. Don't be afraid to make yourself a priority. It's not selfish. It's a necessity. And I love this. Life is like a roller coaster. You can either scream every time there's a bump, or you can throw up your hands and enjoy the ride. And I can see me. I'm throwing up my hands. I'm glad people can't see me. Anyway, you have to enjoy the ride and take the time. Stop and smell the roses. When it gets a little tough, sit down, count to 3, take a breath, focus inside, whatever works for you, and enjoy the moment, because we have so many wonderful things in our lives. Enjoy your little ones. Give them lots of hugs and kisses. Sending good 2016 hugs out to you. I will see you next week. Thanks for tuning in, and bye-bye.